Hey everybody. So you know I just can't leave the whole R. Kelly thing alone. I gotta talk about this, clue you guys into something you can learn from it. Um, in continuing with human lie detection, I've gone over Jesse Smollett. What you need, sweetie? Go upstairs, sweetie. Dinner will be ready in a minute. Parenting. Some of you may be wondering why I leave these clips in there. It's because when you have two young children, 4 and 2.5, this is about as much free time as you get. I would never get anything put out if I had to cut and start over again. Anyways, in the R. Kelly interview, the body language analysis, and there's plenty of these on the internet. You can Google these for yourself. There's one where I believe it was ABC or CBS or 123 MOUSE something network brought on this super tenured body language expert who's helped the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the NRA, the DMV, the ING, ERE, whatever. All the acronyms in the world. And watching it, so first of all, hopefully you can just watch the raw interview and see for yourself that it's blatantly apparent that he's lying. Hopefully you can kind of sort of get that. At a minimum, you should say, I'm not quite sure this feller's telling the truth. He's not very truthy. Right? Because when you think about normal responses, well, ask me, hey, have you ever had sex with a 13-year-old? I'd be like, no, you just fuck off. Right? People say you did. Yeah, well, they're liars. Like that's the first thing. Like when a false accusation comes out, a false accusation typically gets a very low energy response from somebody who's telling the truth. Because honestly, a false accusation, unless you're actually in court, but a false accusation is easy to disprove, right? Or you have the ability to disprove it. Versus a real accusation requires quite a bit more energy to defend against, because of the fact a real accusation requires actively blocking the discovery of the truth, right? So with a false accusation, the truth exists and the truth exonerates you. You just have to go get your proof, and then from there, all you have to worry about is just, presenting the truth. But when the accusation is real, you have to go into overdrive, you have to go into defensive mode, and you have to actively block the investigators from discovering it. So there's this much more energetic engagement with defending against a false accusation. You can see that in the R. Kelly interview. I don't know why the hell he even volunteered to do the interview. Except maybe he just, had a bigger ego and thought that it was, he would be more in control. I think maybe he just thought that because of who he is, that he was expecting to walk in and get photographed and have, the camera splashes all over him and have a reporter saying, "Oh, you're R. Kelly. You believe you can fly, and we believe you. We believe you." Right? I think maybe once he sat down and saw the serious look in the interviewer's face, like ready to draw blood, I think then it set in. But let's break it down. here and talk about it. And I'm not going to show video clips because I did that with one video with Ben Shapiro and Bill Maher, and I got in trouble with YouTube. They took my video down and gave me a strike. So I can use video clips if I put like a little disclaimer like down in there that says, due to the fair rights, the fair use clause of 1976 or blah blah blah, whatever. I make no assertion that these video clips are my own, etc. I don't have time for all that. Anyways, things to look for in the interview. The lying. Body language, with yes and no questions, there's, I think, maybe 3 things for you to take away from this. When you're dealing with somebody who's a manipulator and you ask a yes or no question, the head moves with the truth, right? The head moves with the truth. So when they're saying, yeah, that's, no, they're lying. When they say, no, right? No. Yes. Right? You see R. Kelly do this, and it's very, very pronounced. Like, he's trying to sell the shit out of it. He's going for, is it an Oscar, Grammy, Academy Award, something. One of those golden statue things. And he's like, have you ever had sex with an underage girl? No. 30 years later, they're still talking about it. He's like, yeah. Another indicator is when they're lying and given the contradictory body language. Something else to look for is changes in the pitch of the voice, right? Like one of them, when they're lying and they're under a lot of anxiety, they go into what's called the Mickey Mouse voice, like, oh, I would never do that. Why are you even that? Mickey. They start to go up, no. Especially women. Women tend to do this more than men, I think. When a man does it, it'd be like, no. But that's not really Mickey Mousey, right? If you ever hear a dude go into a full falsetto like Bohemian Rhapsody, then you got a serious lie on your hands. But there's usually a change in pitch up or a change in pitch down that is distinctly noticeable beyond normal talking register. So with him, he goes towards low. When they say something like, after all these years, they're still trying to pin this on you. He's like, yeah. I can't understand it. Like, because the brain doesn't want to naturally lie. It takes additional motive. It takes additional not collusion. What is the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to think of a very specific word here. It takes just a lot of extra mental cognitive effort to convince the brain to go against its nature. Fabricating lies isn't the typical modus operandi for people. Even people who are pathological liars, they still have to process several things at once. They have to process what actually happened. So as they're giving the answer, they have to think about what actually happened, what the true scenario was. Then they have to think about what happens if they tell the truth, what happens if they tell a lie, what the desired outcome is. And then they have to connect all those dots from the truth to what's at stake to what is the desired outcome. And then they have to go from the truth to the desired outcome and calculate what it is that they're going to say to you that's going to try and produce this desired outcome. And it can happen very quick, and with practice, they get better and better and better with it. But you're still going to see all of this stuff going on. In a video that I did earlier talking about how to be a human lie detector, watch the eyes. When the eyes go left, the left side is the lying side. The right side is the recollection side, right? You can see this a lot in the Jussie Smollett interviews when they're asking him to tell them what happened. What happened? Man, we had a tussle. You know, they said, hey, Empire. I don't respond to Empire. You know, why do you think they targeted you? I go hard against 55. You know, it's no secret. But you see how my eyes are going? When you watch somebody's eyes and they're thinking of what to say, the constructive side, their eyes kind of do this. Also, there's the facelift effect, which is kind of sort of the pulling back of the face, which is, you know, like disengagement or preparing for, or it's usually like a drawback to add emphasis to something that they're going to try and sell, right? So when you see the tightening of the face, that's drawing them back, and they're either disengaging or they're preparing like to get some extra momentum to deliver something that they really, really want you to believe, right? So when you ask somebody, you know, like, is this whole thing fake with Jussie Smollett? And he's like, no, right? They had to reach back to downtown and throw the pitch. But even that, it's even more subtle with facial expressions, right? When people are actually remembering, and this is what you watch for, the right side is the recollection. It's like, so tell me about what happened that night. And you'll see Jussie Smollett will be like, I went to Subway around 2 o'clock. When I came out of the Subway, I heard somebody shout, Empire. And I don't respond to Empire. And I turned and I looked, and I seen two dudes in red hats, you know, so like he's doing back and forth. And so you can see where he's remembering what happened, and then he's constructing something on top of it, and then he's delivering, right? So recall, construct, deliver. Recall, construct, deliver. That's why you hear people all the time saying they got the shifty eyes, they're giving me the stink eye. And I don't know, something about them seems shifty. It's that looking left and right. Recall, construct, right? There's times where it can indicate truth, like when you say, you know, what do you think is going to help to fix this country? People are going to think like that, right? Anyways, to address R. Kelly's big meltdown at the end, that is nothing other than a fit of narcissistic rage. A combination of narc rage and playing the victim at the same time. When somebody's lying and they don't want to answer a yes or no question, they go into what I call an intermission performance. So when you make questions purposefully easy to answer truthfully, a truthful answer is usually like, well, yeah, right? Or no. But whenever there's more to it, when it takes more effort to lie, you're going to see a lot more effort go into the answer. They make things called convincing statements. Convincing statements meaning things that they try to do to convince you. It's extra effort, right? So you say, come on, man, you know me. Come on, you know me. Would I do something like that? You know me. I would never do something like that. Or they'll try to refrain from saying, I would never do something like that. They'll say, do you really think I would do something like that? And they put it back on you. You really think I would do something like that? Come on, you know me better than that. So they totally avoid saying, you know me better than that, right? Anyways, I'm about out of time. Check out the R. Kelly interview if you haven't seen it. I'm sure you've seen it all over social media. And that dude's in some hot water. I'll see y'all on the next video.